Warning, the following video contains adult content. This includes adult language, adult beverages, and adult themes. Viewer discretion is advised. No kids allowed.
What'd you do? Not set it up?
Good. Now we're good. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to check
Oh,
us out.
hi.
This is the Rough Craft Show dedicated to creating news stories. Want to join a nice,
Was
tasty beer? We'll see what we're doing tonight, guys. The reason all the talk about quitting is we're talking about quitting jobs. That's what the episode's about tonight. No, the show's over.
I was about to say, did you change your mind and not tell us? And you're like, surprise!
Say goodbye to our old job. We're doing this full time, guys. All
Every
70
night.
subscribers.
There you go. Your camera's messed up, man. I fixed it.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't.
We got 2 viewers, so
We thought we'd just quit our jobs and do this full time with 70 subscribers.
71 subscribers, Matt.
Oh,
did somebody
yeah.
leave?
Somebody left, dude.
They saw the post on Twitter I made earlier and said,
Fuck, I'm getting drunk tonight. Then.
I was watching a video about the Waco standoff, and I realized it went for like 2 months. And
You
that's
watching?
like almost as many days.
You watching Wendigoon?
What?
No, I just saw.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that fucking guy with the beard or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's watch this thing. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I watched this
50,
Paradise
60
Lost
days.
video and it was fucking great.
And then if the ATF would have just quit trying to fuck with these people, they wouldn't have all died. So we're back on track.
Dolphin noises.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. That's insane, man. I did watch the series Waco where they're like, all the FBI was like, oh, I'm so sad they're dying.
Yeah.
In reality, they were like taking pictures with the fucking dead bodies and shit.
They rose a ATF flag where the Branch Davidians flag was.
They won. Oh, it's gross,
Isn't that
dude.
what
I'm
that
sorry.
Isn't that what that one movie was about?
What movie?
I
The
don't
Waco
know.
Oh,
thing
Red
that we were just
State.
talking about?
Red
Yeah,
State.
Red
Yeah,
State,
he kind of took Westboro and them and kind of put it
okay.
into its own thing. Because like Westboro people aren't gun nuts, but he took that and
I'm frozen on
Interesting.
Discord, so
you are frozen. It's pretty sick though. I like it.
It was looking good.
Uh-oh.
I'm just waiting for that camera microphone to pick up.
Do I have?
Several.
Oh, now it's just 2 me's. You get a
Cool,
me
dude.
and you get a me.
Ah,
Nah,
there's-
fuck. Oh, now it's still fucked up. Good, good. I'm trying to think.
Oh, we can hear him. It doesn't matter.
Oh man, I had a thing set up where I was going to set it up so in case something happened, we'd be able to have a 2-man cam set up. I didn't do that, so
2-man cam. Oh well. I like
So-
how like you were trying to get your stuff all figured out before, and then Matt was fine, and now the show started,
yeah.
and Matt's dipping out of here. He can't figure out how to work his camera.
Look at me, guys. I'm Matt.
Just unplug your vape.
Yeah,
Unplug your-
that's what the issue is.
I'll be like driving down the road, and the guy's like trying to charge my phone. He's got his vape plugged in. I'm like, fucking, unplug your vape, man.
All right, Devin, I'm gonna set up an extra cam situation so
I
that
don't care, dude. There'll be
no,
two
no,
of you. I like Double
no,
Vision. You ever heard
no,
that
it's-
song, Double Vision? Play
no,
the
it's
song,
just-
Double Vision.
it's just you now.
Feeling down and dirty, feeling kind of mean.
Bow, 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 bow.
I don't want to mess this video up so it can't be monetized, so I'm not gonna do that.
Who sang Double Vision?
Foreigner.
Is it Double
Is
Vision?
Matt back? Matt, why can't you get
He's-
your camera to work?
Matt just gave up, dude. He said, fuck it, this is our life now.
Is it-
Did you
yeah,
seriously quit trying?
This is our life.
No, I'm
Go-
trying to connect. I'm trying to fix my camera.
Just
Okay.
unplug and plug it back
I was
in.
gonna say, definitely go back to the trying. You hear what he said there, Matt? Unplug it and plug it back in. You would think that'd be like the first thing you would try to do, and then you'd be like, "Oh, the
He's gotta
jack's
go in his
messed up. Let me
settings.
go and then fucking."
He's got his
move-
command prompt open, everybody. Trying to figure out how to get his shit to work. This
I'm
is why I'm
doing.
quitting.
I'm doing percent run data.
Oh yeah, that's
What?
what.
There we
That's-
go.
He's right. It was the percent run data.
It was
There
the
you
percent,
go.
It was the percent run data.
What is the percent run data? Tell the folks at home.
Oh, what you do is you open command prompt and then you type percent
All
run.
right, guys, we're gonna
percent.
talk about something interesting now. And
Oh,
now,
okay.
I don't know. I don't
I
have
was actually
anything.
pretty interested.
I just want to interrupt. Go ahead, Matt. Explain it. It sounds good.
Oh no, it's over.
Okay,
We're gonna
good.
talk about
Me?
Jan 6.
We're gonna talk about Gen 6.
Jan 6.
Oh,
Gen 6 in Pokemon.
Jan-
You thought I said January 6th? The worst attack on American soil? All right. Well, why are we quitting? Does anyone just tackle that?
We
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
hate each other.
Yeah, we really do hate each other in real life, guys.
Yeah. We do that. We
Talk
only
every
do this.
day.
We only do this for the money.
You ever heard of Grand Tour? That's what we're like. We really hate each other.
I meant to cut my air conditioner on before I started, and it's not on.
Essentially, the reason we're quitting is, I think, 100% because of me.
Nah.
I've decided to quit. I just don't want to do it
it
anymore.
couldn't be.
No, I want to do. I want to try to work on other stuff, and I know I've tried to do that in the past, and I can't do this, even the smallest version of this, and trying to do something else at the same time. I can't do that. Plus, I think, in my opinion, what this channel has kind of become a convoluted mess of what the
What is
original
it?
idea was. Yeah, I don't know what it is, and I keep changing every fucking month, if not more, to what I want the show to be, and it's a hassle for these guys. And it just would be easier to try to.
What was it originally? So, originally, it was just we were gonna like make up stuff, right?
It was just audio, and we were just gonna just be a regular podcast. We'd record, and then we would would come up with a prompt, and then make up a story and
It
drink
was a
beer.
perfect plan. 3 white guys in a podcast, and it was.
Boy, never been done before.
That could only work if one of them guys were bald.
One of them's famous.
Yeah,
Oh no.
that helps a lot.
Well, you had that great Ash home run video.
Oh, yeah.
And you had
Why
that
don't we
great
talk about-
drunken dog video,
Yeah, the drunken dog.
but that's not there anymore.
We don't want to talk
Yeah.
about we don't talk about Whitney, Wisconsin anymore.
You couldn't even re-upload that and find success.
Google her up later.
Yeah,
Don't. Don't do that.
Whitney, Wisconsin.
You could have been. You still could have been. You could have like took off, man. I mean, if I kept doing those shitty League of Legends videos, I could have
Yeah.
taken off.
Yeah.
You could have. I mean, if you got
Now we end up here quitting another show that only has 70 subscribers.
that's
But you see-
another thing too. Is we've been doing it for so long, and there's just. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad. There's just been no. It's not that it hasn't been successful. There's not been a steady increase at all. So there's no reason to believe that there will be in every version. I don't know. I just I want to start something fresh now.
Well,
we may
we're
do
gonna
something
trying to think
together.
of we're trying to think of
Yeah.
a new idea. I think
Yeah.
Matt's going to continue Grim History. I've kind of got some ideas of stuff I want to do. So
Matt's
Tommy's
also
probably
going to
got
continue writing his book. That's the worst part of this, man. We never really got to finally end the book watch.
Well, there'll be
Uh,
one more episode where I finally get published and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll see.
bring it back. Well,
But yeah,
Back to the Rough Craft. The Rough Craft, like the channel's not going away.
Yeah.
We're not deleting the channel. The channel's gonna
Yeah.
stay. You can go back and watch some of our greatest stories. Like
who knows? Maybe Grim History takes
Like
off.
what,
it's
Matt?
all big and famous, and then we'll just come back and do this again because you'll be famous and people will want to watch it. Because all you have to do to do a podcast is be famous.
That helps a lot.
You have anything to talk about. Nothing, no subject matter. Not a good idea. Just you have to be marginally
talk.
famous.
Well, that's out the gate, but then to maintain, I mean, you could keep a
look at
podcast going
you
just off of a
drinking
base.
a caffeine-free Diet Coke.
I've been drinking it the whole time.
He's
I
like,
just now seen it. I was
he's,
like,
he's got to go to bed.
look at
I
that
gotta go
golden
to
Yoda
catch
can.
some Z's. Oh yeah, it was in my little mini fridge. I opened it up to see what I had to drink in there, and it was in there. I was like, I'm gonna drink that instead.
I will say though, with podcasts, even if you're famous, that's not necessarily a shoe, and it's going to be successful. You'll be good out the gate, but like do you watch the Hobbit one anymore? Whatever those guys, whatever that
The
podcast was
Friendship
called?
Onion?
Yeah, do you watch that anymore?
No.
I
No,
quit that
I
after like 5 episodes. It's Always Sunny one. I don't watch that anymore.
No.
So
You just have to
And-
keep it interesting. Like Joe
I
Rogan
wonder if
brings in
still watch
people.
that. God, Joe fucking Rogan.
He brings in people like different types of people. So
good guests.
He's
Good
got
guess.
interesting people and has conversations with.
did the Friendship Onion ever bring on like Sheen Aston or anything?
No, they brought Sean Astin on though. I think.
Sheen John.
Yeah, like what's fucked up about the way you're saying is you're not even saying it right to say it wrong. It would be seen, is what you're going for, and you're saying
Like
sheen.
Scene Bean.
Yeah, it did like their episodes have kind of sort of staved. That Sunny one's like around 300,
Yeah.
400,000, but the first ones were like million. Like
Yeah. Like you'll have that steady fan base, and I still go back and check them out every now and then, but I don't like I was every time. And I listened to the whole fucking thing to catch up, like the first 2 days I knew about it, and then after that, just
It's my favorite show. I've watched it multiple
Yeah.
times. I think about it every day of my life, and I've never watched one episode of
yeah.
their podcast. Just
It's
I don't know.
neat.
Maybe one day I'll catch around to it.
It's
It's
neat.
I'm just
Kinda
listening to
check
old
it out.
Opie and
Does
Anthony
Stephen
from
King have a
2009.
podcast? You don't know?
I hope not.
I don't know. I would
He's
say
got a
what-
podcast and he does like 50 episodes a fucking day, so he can smoke a cigarette or whatever the fuck it is.
I think this would be a no alcohol or cocaine anymore though. I think one of the something interesting to talk about is what we can each go around the table here and talk about what we think the biggest failures of the rough craft was, and
You.
and reasons why it didn't work. Let me finish the goddamn question. And what do we think it was that was the led to the downfall of it? Matt, go first, I guess. Me, I agree.
I would just say we all became parents around the same time. New parents around, well, not necessarily you, Tom, but
Yeah.
you know, we all became parents around the same time. There's this.
Well,
there
it's
was
even
just no way.
worse that way because like you guys did it, and it kind of slowed things down a bit, and then I did it later, and then we slowed down for like 6 months, I think, then, didn't we?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we came back, and then we slowed down again whenever I had the kid, and then we slowed down multiple times afterwards because I didn't want to do the
Fucking
show or
kids, man,
whatever
don't have
it would
them.
be.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I love, love my kid.
I was
so-
thinking, I was watching Encanto today. I'm like, I'm gonna have some more kids.
It's funny. That's all only show that my daughter wants to a movie she wants to watch. Is fucking
Encanto?
Encanto. She's like Canto. I'm like, you just
Mom-
fucking watched it.
My mother-in-law was saying, she's like, he doesn't really like Encanto. And then the other day I was watching Encanto with him. He's sitting there watching it, dancing. I'm like, hey, he can't
Is
fucking
that when he
stand
put
this
the
shit.
paper towel rolls on his hand and started
What?
going?
No, I don't know. That was at my mother-in-law's house, so I don't know. I wasn't there. Got that video on the road working for Amazon.
I think we just needed another way to get eyeballs, and it's just difficult. I mean,
It's a mix of
it's
I don't,
it's a rough niche to get into, and it's hard to break
Yeah.
into it. And
and
what
you don't
is
wanna
like you
be-
said? What is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't want to
we
be a
don't- we don't know
fucking.
what it is.
You don't want to be a fucking like. You don't want to be lame and do like gotcha kind of stuff just to pull people in. You want to. I want to
Yeah.
do what the show's supposed to be, but then
10 best books that I would have been banned. We do like a video, and you're like,
Yeah.
number 1,
10 best books to burn.
Catcher in the Rye. They shot Ronald Reagan. Is that what happened? Catcher in the Rye.
Chills.
they
Number
shot Ron.
2.
I like that guy.
Dude, who doesn't love chills?
Chills. He's like, "Let me
And he does
chill."
everything he says gets real high at the end. He's one of those kind of things.
Here's a picture of a ghost. Anyway,
What was
but I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. It's
I had some of those
What do you
videos
do?
planned. I had one was going to be what was it? It was the Writer's 6-pack. I even started researching and filming stuff for it. But this was an idea like I had over a year ago. But it was going to be I was going to get like 6 things that
6
could be
books you
tools
can help your
for
story right
writers
in the office.
to help. Yeah, it was fucking. Yeah, I had a list of them, and the
So
last
it's
one was
like-
going to be beer, of course. And then was it top 5 writers that drank? That was another one I was going to do.
we could this, but it's like, yeah, dude. It's also like writing. Reading doesn't translate well to YouTube. I guess I don't know. It's like everyone
That's the
uses
biggest-
YouTube.
That's the biggest problem. That was trying to figure out how. That's why I was saying. That's why a podcast was the idea for this in the first place. Is because we're just sitting around making up a story. You can do that in a podcast, but how do you make writing visual? That was
Yeah.
always. That's why I was trying to use mind maps at one point. It was just unless we did like the storyboarding, having stuff drawn in time with what we're saying. But God, that dude, I can fucking barely get a video put together right now, much less like actually have to do work with it.
Just
Dude,
gotta
I
shit
sh-
them out, man.
like
You're also a
that-
perfectionist.
Yeah. Well, I think you can say that. I think this is good. Sad to see you go. Thanks for all the good. Thanks for coming on, Neil. How about that? Thanks
Appreciate
for
that, man.
look. Are we still we still?
I was thinking about that earlier, and I was wanting to tell Neil, but Neil's here, so
Say you're welcome. It was all me.
I did want to say, like as far as like this, number one, this was in my mind not a failure, the channel itself, but from the very beginning, whenever I started talking about this, it was all to just do something to learn, and from the get go, I'm like, it's gonna fail, and then we'll use that to go into something else. And so for that reason, it wasn't a failure. I've always maintained trying to make sure everything that is made for the Rough Craft has been made by myself in some fashion so that I have to learn how to do that. Everything that's on here I've made, except for like the fonts and shit. I made those. And finally, we're on the actual background that I made myself. For a while, we was using
Dude,
stuff I
and I
stole from the
fucking-
internet.
I love this background. It's so
It looks good,
animated and everything. It looks great.
You done?
Thanks, guys.
I've got to. I mean, there's people that have more views that have like it just looks like
Yeah.
shit.
That
You've
was
done a great job with the way how visually
Thanks,
everything
man.
looks.
I really appreciate that. That was always my thing. Is like, at least like we can make it look good. Like that's at least make it when somebody gets there, like, oh, this looks like good quality. Let's see. Oh, it's shit. Okay, I'm leaving now. But at least they come and check it out.
We got the quality. We got the mic. We got the sound quality. We
Yeah.
just don't have the personality.
No,
We
I
just
think
go-
we even do. It's the idea. That's why I said you guys. I think
Okay.
with what we know already, what we've learned, and like everything we've learned, and just I think us as a whole, like in our ideas, like we can be successful with something.
What?
We just
Why you
have to
laughing?
we just have to have a good idea. I think me just saying the same thing like 3 times in a row.
Are you laughing at him? Or you
Oh,
laughing
but
at me?
yeah. So also real
Laughing at
quick,
him. He said the same thing like,
I did.
over and over.
I think like the idea wasn't good. It wasn't structured, and maybe if the idea was a little better and we worked on the idea.
but I wanted
Nah,
to
it's
say
hard-
real quick
hard
as
to get
well.
it to go on,
It
yeah.
was a success because I personally know that I've learned a lot during this process, and then the other success is meeting a lot of great people, and that's a
Damn.
lot. That's largely in part due
Like
to Matt.
this is the last episode, so I want to mention Sean. He was a
Mhm.
he was a great guest. I wish we would have had him on more.
Never
Pat
heard of him.
Pat was a great guy.
Never heard of him.
Logan, his audio is pretty good now.
Yeah.
Well, we never had him back on.
Yeah.
And Neil is Neil
How
has
did,
become.
how did y'all meet Neil?
I met Neil through Logan's writing Discord.
Do you know
Okay.
Logan, Devin? You know who that is? Logan was another guy Matt met through like writing. I think Matt met him on Twitter, and then he got in a writing Discord with him. Neil popped in there, and I remember Matt telling me, man, he messaged me. He's like, "Oh, we got an actual published writer coming in here. Maybe we can get him on the show." And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do that." And then now we're going to be going to a sporting event with him next weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like Neil became a good friend. It's probably if Logan lived closer, I'm sure we'd hang out with him too.
I don't like meeting people
But-
on the internet, but I sure am glad I met you now.
Yeah. That's like we've all become pretty good friends.
Dude,
We went to a couple events together, and
they're so him and his wife's awesome, man. They fucking pushed Sam around all day at the zoo. Well, his wife did, and I was like, "You want me to take him?" Like, she's like, "Look," she's like, "All my kids are gone. When I get done with this, I'm gonna be able to go home and take a nap." She's like, "I understand it. I don't mind." I'm like, "That is the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me."
oh yeah,
George
because
is
like
really cool.
she pulled like when she had the wagon, she pulled around our daughters, me and Devin and I's daughters, in the wagon too, and they were just like, "No,
Would
we're
you say she pushed around daughter or
just
daughter?
she."
Did
our,
he say she pushed
our
around
daughter?
He didn't say me. He didn't say me daughter, did he?
all right? We have one daughter.
He pushed around me daughter. All
He
right, Mr.
pushed
Krabs.
around me daughter. You're spending on me. Anyway, whatever, man.
SpongeBob, you're
So what do you wanna
spending
do?
all the money.
What is
Well,
your
just-
idea for the next thing?
Well, just to I don't want to. That what is my idea? I have too many ideas right now.
You want
I
to do a
think-
video type channel?
I don't know. I have multiple ones. I'm not going to get too into any of them. The main one that I'll say is I have another idea for exactly what I
Exactly
wanted
same
this show to be. Just rebranded basically and done with full control over myself. And it's not that you guys really have any control over this or don't. It's just with the way it was always created from the beginning. I felt like I need to have you guys be okay with everything that I'm trying to do with it. And so the next thing, I'm just going to do it and then be like, hey, you guys want to come on, be a guest? This is what I'm doing. And then y'all can or y'all can't. It's up to y'all. If I do that, there's multiple ideas. I have.
Well, like when we
I
first
might
started
make a
this,
cartoon. I may go over Matt's house and watch him through the window and put that on YouTube. I don't know what I'm going to do.
to make you an ARG. There you go. Like the first time when we first
That's the
started
thing.
this,
Can't do it.
when we first started this, I was editing. I don't know if those videos
that
are
is
still
right.
up. It was just a steel frame with just audio, and I was just editing the audio,
and I still say that-
meticulously editing the audio.
And that was some of the best content I think that we still have. I think as far as quality, like I mean, this looks good. If we could take the visuals of this and the audio quality of the original stuff, I think that if we could have done that and then did that in perpetuity, I think the show would have been more successful. If we would have just stuck to one goddamn idea.
If Devin didn't fucking quit the first time, maybe we would have been at a different spot than we are
I don't know,
now.
did Devin quit or did I fire him? Who did we figure that out? I fired him. Fired you from a show that we're doing for fun. Did Devin quit or did I? I never actually leave, did I?
No, I quit.
Okay, good.
You walked out.
I walked out.
And it had nothing to do with the show either, did it?
Nope.
We were
Same thing
arguing
that
about
you're doing
something.
now. Yeah.
we were just arguing, and I was like, "Fuck this asshole," which I've done several times.
Yeah. I want to be clear. He's never once fucked this asshole. No,
It's
once.
kind of sad because I know we're all hanging out next weekend and doing stuff. We're gonna be coming together with other ideas, but it is kind of sad to see the rough crowd finally go though. We've
I'm
been
not
doing this
sad.
for years.
Yeah, it's. I was like, I looked at it on YouTube. The last video was just 2 years ago, and I was like, I thought it's been 3, but no, it was January 2020. was when the first-
1979. I saw a terrible
No,
crash.
79.
There's the only reference you and I will get. That was me making fun of Devin. That's one of his catchphrases.
Well, I mean, that's
Matt-
a reference people would understand. When you make a reference to like the show we
I
did
know. I'm
8
just-
years ago that no one saw, like, that's just for us.
He's like down on. I can't say that. God dang it! I was this close. I'll tell you guys what I almost said. About said a quote that Joseph said from Drunken News.
Oh, yeah, don't do that.
No, don't look up
Yeah.
Drunken News either. But that's another thing too.
They
Is
can't. It's gone.
It's not good. That's something that I struggle with as well with the show. Is there's been multiple times with Matt I've talked to him about taking beer away from the show because I'm like, let's say this show gets successful, and then 10 years from now, do I still want to be doing a show that's themed around drinking? I like the idea.
Still want to be an alcoholic 10 years from now.
Drink a beer. Well, I'm thinking about kids and stuff, but drinking a beer and then all the cussing and us just being ourselves. I'm like, I don't know if I want my kid finding this. I would like something a little bit cleaner, I think. And plus, I don't know. See, but there's so many things like I'm like, but I want to just do it the way I want to do it, and then also I want it to be more accessible to other people and stuff. So like, I don't know what I want to do, even at this moment.
Yeah, because if
So-
we take out cussing, that's going to, estrange the sailors.
Yeah, the
Sailors
yeah,
sailors
yeah, we don't
sailors
want
not
them.
going to want to watch the show if we don't cuss, man.
Yeah. But that's why we had so many views on Pirate's Life for Mage. All the sailors. But yeah, I think we just didn't have one steady idea. I think originally it was writing stories, and then we kind of went away from that. We kind of went into movies, sort of making movie stories and stuff, and yeah, just
And then
there's
we
a lot.
started interviewing writers, and then we started playing games, and then it was just all this things, and then we tried to cram it all into one thing, and we just finally decided, like, look, this isn't working. We'll do something else. Because the next step was, if you talked about it in our last episode, that Devin was going to make a video, and I was going to make a video. My video was going to be about Godzilla, and Devin's video was going to be about the greatest comedy he ever saw.
Not
Or
comedy, the greatest comedic performance of all time.
whatever, it was something to do with funny.
Jackie Gleason.
Jackie Gleason in Smoking the Bandit is the greatest comedic performance ever given.
But then that's like, well, what does that have to do with storytelling? Because my video wasn't really about it was the story of why I like
He
Godzilla.
tells a
and-
story because he's trying to catch the bandit.
That's why I made like one of the last things that I put out. Like I said, we got to figure out because it was always like, what is this fucking show? Like, if I could say it real simply, what is it? And like saying rough drafts and good crafts, that's not the show anymore. We can't say that. So that's why I was saying we got to keep it themed within story and beer, like with story and drinking. That way, because if that was that's still
not even that
casting a
great.
wide net. Well, I mean, no, it's not a catchphrase. No, it's not a slogan. But
no,
saying
I'm
we-
just saying that's
yeah.
not a great. It's not a
It's-
great
but it-
panel
but
to
yeah,
try to
it makes-
find a niche in.
Yeah, exactly. It casts too wide of a net. But the only reason I said that is because everything that we were already doing fits within that net. So if just making sure when we branch off to anything else and we add any new segments, we can't let it be outside of that because it's just going to make it more broad than it already is. But yeah, I think that would have helped a lot if we were just stuck on one thing. And Neil, if you're still here, I know Neil had told me he's going to try to catch it, but he has like a birthday thing that he's going to. Not trying to put out your personal business, Neil. What restaurant was it? He had said, or Matt, me and Matt was talking over the day, and we're talking about it. And I mean, again, this last show, we can air this out. What Matt was basically, so what was the argument, Matt, from your perspective? What were you and I disagreeing on about what the show should be as far as having guests and plugging?
Just talking about the work, the show that we were interested to promote them a bit.
Yeah, what do you mean by talking about their work? Like, what would you think would be our job in that situation to do?
Well, since we're not paying guests to come on the show, at least we could do is read their work.
Yeah, most people don't pay guests to come on their show. It depends on the show.
yeah,
It's cross promotion. It's beneficial for both parties. That's how it usually works. I know it's one sided for us for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That was my whole point. Is we're nobodies.
So
Why
but
would
I
they
mean,
want to come on our show?
Yeah. But what are you saying we should be doing? That's what I don't understand. What you're saying we should be doing is what I'm saying we should be
No,
doing.
I wasn't saying that we should be doing that. I was just saying that was my argument for the guests to read their stuff. I don't care. We don't have to have guests anymore. I don't give a shit about that. I mean, if we were still doing the show,
We don't have to have a show anymore.
we
I mean, I
don't
don't
have
care
to have
about
a
that.
show. Yeah, Devin hasn't said a word since we got online. But
His input in the show is finally coming to the surface. We can all see it now. It can't hide behind that mustache any longer.
but I was just saying, like, if we were trying to be a guest show last night when we were talking about this, if we're trying to be a guest show, we should at least be some value to them to come on our
Yes.
show.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying it would just be like what it is for everything else is we get them on there. And like I said, ideally, I know we can't always read everybody's books, but ideally, before you get a guest on, you want to read their work and then invite them. So you're not going to invite them unless you like their work in the first place.
I don't know.
But
if
I just
Logan
don't
wants to
think
be talking about this.
I don't know if we should sit there and then spend like 15, 20 minutes talking to them about their book when we have a show that we need to do. That's what I'm saying. Like, people are going to tune out. Like, the idea is come on, and basically they're performing as much as we are and saying, look, here's me helping make a story. And they're like, I like that guy. Let me check. That's almost like a teaser to hook them in to buy the book more so than them sitting there talking about the book for an hour anyways.
All right, we're not going to continue this argument because it can go on all night.
Bullshit. That's what Devin said before we started. We're going to have an argument, and it's going to show while we're quitting the goddamn show.
That's right.
I have a baby and a wife in there sleeping, Matt. You make me raise my voice
my
one more
daughter's
goddamn
sleeping
time.
Too.
You always going to turn to Chris Benoit?
Why would I do that?
Are you gonna murder your wife and family?
The Bowflex?
Matt. See, there's another one of the fancy catchphrases of the Rough Craft, all these little bits that we have. Matt's favorite is saying Chris Benoit.
This is the first time I said it in months.
That man loves it months. I think you said it the last time we did it, which was
I
a month
know.
ago.
Nope. I never mentioned his name. I made it a
Not
point.
once. Not one time.
Did you really? I don't know if I ever got to respond to that, Matt. Reply to that, Matt. Did you think that whenever you were talking about the Lord of the Rings thing, you were saying Chris was dead, and I was like, Chris Benoit? Did you really think that I thought Chris Benoit was the reason Lord of the Rings is
I
gonna be
knew
bad?
you were joking because I said Chris, and it was like Benoit, but I wanted to make sure that you knew that Tolkien had a
Context
Martin.
clues, Matt.
yeah. Oh well, fuck it.
Whenever you said Chris, I was like, Chris, what's? I was like, is he? He said Chris died, and I'm like, Chris Benoit. And then I read the rest. I was like, oh, that must be Tolkien's son that was like in control of the estate.
Yeah, and he was the great defender.
But what was you? I'm sorry, I interrupted you. One of you interrupted me. What was you going to say about Logan?
Oh, I don't know if Logan wants me to bring this up, but I'm going to anyway. There was a guy we had in the Discord, the writing Discord, and he was a furry. he was being published by a furry publishing house, and
Why didn't we get him on the show, Matt?
Context of why I was going to bring this up.
Do you have any idea how nice
yeah.
that clickbait could have been?
Yeah, but the thing was, like how can we determine who to bring on? And I read a bit of his furry story, and it was pretty terrible. It was pretty bad. And so if we don't vet and read some of the stuff, and we get someone like that on, it's not going to be good.
Well, I know you and I discussed him anyways, and we were discussing whether we would want somebody like that on the show in the first place. Because not to get political, but I'm not a fan of furries to a certain extent. If you like writing werewolf books, go for it, man. I ain't got a problem with werewolves. Even if you want to write a book about dog werewolves, I can probably get behind that. But if you're interested in like animals fucking or humanoid animals fucking, it gets a little weird.
Humanoid animals.
That's what werewolves are.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean,
So that gets a little
just
weird.
fun.
great input, Devin.
I'm sorry. I thought humanoid animals was funny, dude. Fuck you, man. Sorry.
Hey, I appreciate.
Jesus. I know it's normally just me and somebody else talking, and you doing this,
Yeah, and this is the last show, and you're just like staring at your
and
phone.
then hitting your vape. Well, first I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. I finally got the parking pass. You guys mentioned.
No. He's on his phone right now, scrolling through, like looking for other fucking jobs he can go find to be a host of.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm
looking for
fucking
the
done
host.
here.
No, I was looking at the parking pass. You guys mentioned us going to the sporting event, and I was like, oh yeah, I never got my parking pass because that's fucking next Saturday.
Yeah,
So I was like, let me make sure I got that. And I got that. I'm like, well, what time does the lot open? So I got up here and find the lot. So the ADHD medicine would help me out a lot with this.
So, speaking of which, I'm glad you brought it up because I've been meaning to ask you again since Matt's not coming to town. I asked you, but you never saw it because it's like, I don't know. There's gaps in you ever.
Well,
reply.
sometimes
Anyways.
I'll wake up and there's 430 messages.
No.
And
It
so
was in
I
the middle of a
just skip through all that
conversation
shit.
that you were talking in. So would it be cool if I just drive to your house and ride with you? Doesn't matter to me either way.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Because I think
way-
it'll
the way
actually
I
be a
would
longer
go-
drive for me.
Yeah, the way I would go is like you kind of take one interstate that's kind of close to me, but it's not your interstate. So
I got you.
I mean, it should
What
be.
time are we meeting up? What time do we meet
faster.
up?
We're gonna link up.
Yeah.
I think the lot opens at it says 5 hours before kickoff. I think
Come
6
get
or
it.
5 hours before kickoff, which is a pretty big difference. So, sounds like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock when we need to be there. So,
4 o'clock rock?
oh, it depends how long you want to tailgate. We could get there not that early. I would like to get there. Does anyone have a tent? Does anyone have like a fucking
I can get one, like a canopy.
tent thing? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
my,
got
my father-in-law has one. We took
Okay.
it to the beach with us, and my dad has plenty of them. So
Well, I don't want to get one from your dad. It's probably got a big, the rival team on it.
well, I know my dad. No, it doesn't. But I know my dad. He's going to be watching Sam that day, and it's
well-
funny because originally I was like, I think I was trying to get my mother-in-law to watch him, but I was like, didn't really want to do that because she watches him all week. Tried to get my stepmom to watch him, but she's working. And then my dad, and I was like, okay, it's fine, I won't do it. And then my dad calls me. He's like, I'll watch him. I'm like, I don't know.
Do you know
about
where I'm
that.
going?
Well, no, it wasn't even that. I did tell my
"What?"
I did tell my stepmom what I was going to, and I was hoping that would entice her because she's a fan of that team as well. Look at this being so vague. But I talked to, anyways, he said he would do it, and it actually worked out perfectly because because I don't understand how this thing works because I've never went tailgated and went to a football game, and so I don't know how it all works.
We got tickets. We got a parking pass for one of the lots, and it's kind of a little bit of a walk last time. And people just pulled in and paid right away. I'm like, I didn't have to fucking do this, man. So I was like, if I'm getting a parking pass, we're gonna be right next
Right
to the
there at
fucking
the
stadium.
stadium.
Yeah, I'm not doing this shit again. And then because we pulled up, like, here's my parking pass. So like, it just go wherever you want to go. I don't give a shit. The guy was like, I don't care. Park wherever. I like flashed my phone. He was like, whatever. Go park over there somewhere. And then Matt forgot ice. It was a whole thing. So
I forgot ice. I forgot plates. I forgot
what a fucking
napkins.
dick, dude. So we're gonna do this one right. This is gonna have a good time. We need it. We need a canopy. This is probably gonna might be warm, So
I got a grill. I got a portable grill.
but we actually got us a nice lot. It's a assigned space. We're like right next to the stadium, so it should be good. But hopefully we can go. And we can try to get there around 3, which means I don't know.
I gotta leave.
do you
around-
wanna-
That means
we
I,
need
that
to
means I
figure
gotta
out-
leave around 2.
We need to figure out where we're gonna meet to then drive.
I figured the same place as
to the
last
place.
time.
You can park in that lot. I don't care because it's not my car that's gonna be left there this time. So do whatever you want to do.
I'm not driving the Mustang. I'll be driving my truck, so should be all right.
I mean, it's probably more valuable than the Mustang, but all right, you're saying it like at least the Mustang's not gonna get. My
Yeah.
truck's gonna get stolen. That would be or towed. I guess we'll meet there again because it worked last time. It was like a little
I'm
parking lot
such
or
an
whatever.
idiot. I was
I
like,
know
why
you
is
are.
Devin talking over me?
You didn't have your thing on.
I know. I was like, I said, I'm real glad everybody, all 7 of these viewers can tune in to hear us discuss our plans.
Discuss tailgating plans.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
but yeah.
way
But
down
what I was
here.
saying, what's
We're gonna be
interesting,
right fucking there.
what's nice is my dad, since he's done this before, he gets it. I was like, hey, I'm probably going to have to drop him off sooner than I thought because we're going to be tailgating at this time. He's like, yeah, I figured you would. He's like, I figured it'd be an all day thing. And I'm like, that's awesome.
But
But
your dad understands. He's a football guy.
my wife's still not totally comfortable with him watching him.
she's
all
like
day.
listening, and it's like, whoa.
He had 3 sons.
She's like, you're okay. I can't believe you're okay with this. I'm like, well, what? It's not that I wasn't okay. I just assumed he wouldn't be comfortable with it. But he's like, yeah, I can do it. He's like, he's walking and stuff. He's like, he just didn't want to. He was saying, I don't want to take care of a baby all day because you got to take care of baby. Sam, you just fucking put him on the ground, throw some stuff at him. He'll dodge it. Maybe he won't.
Yeah,
And he'll get.
it gets easier around when they start
He gets
moving on
hurt.
their own.
He gets hurt every goddamn day now, dude.
do,
I
man.
hope
They
he gets
fall.
I hope he has a black eye, man. It's gonna be hilarious.
That's,
Dude, she just like
that's one hell of a thing to say live.
He
my daughter's
did it.
just falling
He
down
did
on
it.
shit all the time. So
Falling
it says
down
the
on you.
gates, the Gamecock, it opens. Well, Gamecock, now they know. Gamecock Park. See, Clemson, Claire's like, you park because it's a fucking podunk nothing town. So like, they're like, I don't care. You get here whenever you want. Get here the day before. So people would get there like 8 in the morning and tailgate, but you can't do that in a city. So like, they're like, yeah, so the park's open at a certain time. So I don't know. It says 6 hours prior to kickoff, and then but the other one said 5 hours. So I don't know.
All right. Well, 30 minutes into this, let's talk about something thematic to this episode. We're gonna
Bye.
go around
Who
and
gives
tell
a shit?
that is
It's
that is a
over,
good-
dude.
That
It's
is a good
fucking
point,
over,
Matt.
man. My wife's happy it's over.
Is she?
Of course she's gonna be happy
I
it's
asked-
over.
I
'cause
asked
then
my
I
wife.
don't get to do this with my friends anymore.
Well, see, that's
I get to
that's
go
the-
do shit with her, and that's us spending time together.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with this is like, and that's what I saw, Matt. That's the main reason like I had such a hard time quitting every time I tried to quit because this was not the first time. This is just the actual time.
Oh yeah, no. This is something that I hope Neil hears this. We were gonna quit until we saw, like, the rough craft was mentioned in your book.
That right now to this day to the time that I told you guys, and it actually went through when you guys let it happen. Not saying you guys, well, yeah, I've tried to quit multiple times, and in one way or another, these guys just don't let it happen. They're not like, no, don't quit the show, but then I get convinced to stay. But the biggest reason that keeps me staying always is because it says the rough craft in your book, and like I feel bad about that. But,
yeah, like I was like, well,
because I want to change the name of the fucking show. Like, I don't even like the name of the show. I wish you would have talked to us first, Matt. Neil, you could have just said Matt from YouTube.
Matt from YouTube.
But no, it's such a great honor, man, and I hope your book blows up, and then this channel blows up, and then we can come back here.
But no, like the reason we didn't want to quit is because we didn't want people to buy your book and like, well, who's the guy from the rough craft? That maybe they got something. They look us up and they're like, oh no, we fucking quit. And then,
But I mean, channels come and go all the time, and so no matter what, even if they go there and it says, you know, Matt from the Rough Craft, they can still look up the Rough Craft, go see Neil's episodes, and see what who it is, like what it was, what he's referring to.
yeah, we didn't want to like for it to look like you had like a fake review or something like that. So
Who's Naz the Sixth? Is that
that's
Logan?
Neil.
That's Neil. Oh, thanks Neil. He's fucking doubling up. He's like, get them views, baby. That's how we got to 7. We got Matt, we got Devin, we got me, and we got Neil and Neil. That's 5. Who's those other 2?
3. My screen says 8. Thanks 8 people for showing up.
Yeah, well, I'm
Minus
looking at
3.
Anyways, so
Exactly.
anyways, so thank you for being here, Neil. Let's talk about, if you guys are interested, and let's talk about some fun quitting job stories. I think it would be most fitting jobs that you just suddenly quit on the spot. Has that ever happened to either of you?
Yes.
No, I'm a good worker. Well, I did quit Best Buy. I know, but they fucked me over at that place.
I forgot you worked. Was it in the town that we live in, or I live in?
No, it was in North Carolina. It was.
Come on, man.
I'll just dox my address. No, I was doing the seasonal thing because this was back when you couldn't get a job. So
I do remember this now. Yeah, that was whenever you had your stint where you didn't have a job, and then that was the job you got, and then you quit.
I got a job, and I was like, cool, I finally got this job, and I was part of the seasonal crew, which sometimes they keep people, you know. Now they fucking please come work here, but it's like, all right, yeah, we might keep you. And then everyone else that I was hired on with, they got and did all this certain type of training. I didn't do the training. I texted the woman that was like in charge. I said, why did I not be involved with the training? I was like, is this so and so? They're like, yeah. And I was like, why wasn't I in the training? And they just never responded to that part ever again. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna get hired on past this bullshit anyway. So then I quit and came back here. And then I got a job here.
Did you ever actually work?
Yes, I worked there for like a couple weeks, yeah. And then they were like, "Yeah, well, I just missed all the shit." And I was like, "I'm not doing anything." So I was like, "I just moved back here." And then
Okay, so
now I
was
have
gonna say,
a wife and family.
I was gonna say if you could have just stayed there doing nothing, that would have been cool. But I mean, if you left and then came back home,
Oh, I felt like a piece of shit being there, dude. I was happy. I just after like a year of that, I just was like, nothing's gonna happen here in this town. So I just left.
well, that's what I say. Like we've talked about, or you guys have talked about being stay-at-home dads, which would be lovely. But I have this strong feeling that like. I know me. I've been probably without a job. Well, no, Matt probably beats me, but I've been without a job for a good portion of my life. I've probably been through more jobs than both of you combined, and so not having a job is something I got very familiar with. And after 2 weeks, it's real shitty not having a job, not having something to go do.
It's fun, and
so,
then you're like, "Fuck, dude!" It's just the day. You know what day it is? It's I do it for like almost a whole year. Yeah, you're like, I don't know what time. You wake up at fucking 4 o'clock in the afternoon, don't go to bed till 3:30 in the morning. It's terrible, dude.
The only reason I know what day it is specifically because of my work schedule. If it's not for that, I have no reason to know what day it is. It's every day is a Saturday. But
That's right.
but another thing is, I think like even if you did go without a job, like I know if I didn't have the reason I don't want to have a job is so I can do things I want to do, like work on stuff like this right here, create something. That's what I would want to do. And so I think like
Me too.
Like even I talked to my dad, I was like, if you didn't have a job, like you wouldn't just sit around. He's like, I'd probably do that. He's like, but I'm still gonna be working on shit. Like he's trying to build like a extra like thing out on his back porch for his like kind of like a extra extension to his patio he already has and stuff like that. And so like guys are still gonna work. I mean everybody will. Women I think would work too, work on their kids.
We talked about
Whatever it is.
trying to like focus in on some type of YouTube thing. Like I could like do some type of music thing, something. But it's just like my wife's like, I'm scared if that happens. Like,
and
like
see,
we'd be fucking poor if I didn't work.
Well, see, that's I guess y'all have that. I've talked to Brittany
we're in
about
different
that.
situations. Yeah.
Yeah, I've talked to Brittany about that. I guess like a year into this with Matt, and I guess you weren't here at the time, but I was talking about like I opened up
my job.
Well, it wasn't even that. I was talking about getting a like at a certain point getting a loan, buying stuff, and actually quitting my job, trying to have enough expenses to allow me to have some time, and going full hog with it and trying to which would have been stupid because I believe if you want a business, if you want to try something, that's what you need to do. You need to just fucking go for it. You need to quit your job. But at the same time, we didn't have a fucking clue what we were doing. And I think it's better to do the route that we've done now where we've taken 3 years learning and now we can then go do something else. And maybe we could find an idea that maybe has enough value that we could go and do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for when we come back.
We're talking
Thursday
about quitting jobs. Let me go back to the previous question of why the show failed. What my answer was going to be, I think something that we should have done that we never did is, I mean, there's tons of things, but I think a big thing that we should have pushed more, like Matt was getting guests for us and everything like that, but we should have pushed for bigger guests. We should have just beat on everybody's door, annoyed the shit out of them, and maybe somebody will come up because it doesn't take anything. You just got to turn on the webcam, come here for an hour or two. And like we even talked about, like Sean said that they knew the guy from Louder with Crowder. What was that guy's name? Anybody remember? The fucking comedian that came in?
Nope.
Fucking, what's his name? Anyways, there's a comedian, like a full stand-up comedian, or like full-time professional comedian. He gets Dave something, I think.
Dave Landau?
Yeah, Dave Landau. And so Sean has done gigs with him before. He knew him. And this is something Matt and I just discussed alone. Never talked to Sean. Sean, if you're watching this is something we were thinking about asking you, is see if Sean could give us his contact and be like, how much is it going to cost for us to get you on the show? And see, like, I was like, fuck, we could pay him $1,000. Like, you and I, $500 a piece, get him on the show, get some eyeballs here. Like, and the plan was, this is something Matt and I want to talk about, or Matt wanted to talk about, is how we had told Sean and Pat, because you just say a lot of dumb shit when you're drunk, how we was going to go and do
I think you said this.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll do a 5-minute. This is the reason they never came back on the show because we never did this. I couldn't invite them back without doing this.
Did y'all do that stand up? No.
Was gonna do was gonna go do a 5-minute open mic spot, Matt and I each, and then was gonna record it, and then was gonna come back on the show, and was gonna have Pat, Sean watch it with us because they both do stand up. And we were going to just talk about that or whatever. And then maybe try to get Dave in as well or something and have him there and just basically just watch. It would have been, I think that would have been a good episode. Never went and did the stand-up. So that was the spot that fucked up.
Let's talk about one of our other old shows that me and Tom did. When we got Stephen Drain on.
Oh, we didn't. You did. See, that was a big pull.
We should have reached out to Stephen Drain to see if he wanted to come on the show.
Help us make up a story. What story would Stephen Drain want to do, Matt? Before you tell us that story, make sure people know who Stephen Drain is to help kind of
Stephen Drain is the new leader.
Shield yourself from some of the backlash.
Stephen Drain is the new leader of the Westboro Baptist Church.
Not really new anymore. He's been the leader for a while now.
He's been the leader for a while, but
probably close to a decade.
I somehow got in contact with him and had an interview with him a long time ago, back when I still lived in your hometown.
Worst interview you could imagine. But I mean, in Matt's defense,
I was brand new.
The fact that you actually recorded is kind of a godsend. Like, who would have expected? Like, it's crazy it even happened.
Yeah.
Because people like Stephen Drain don't know who he is.
I still have his phone number.
He was on Dr. Phil before. Like who's
Dr. Phil?
Dr. Feel Good. He's the one that makes you feel all right.
It's a good song.
But he was on Dr. Phil. He's like everybody knows
Why are
who
you
Wes.
saying Dr. Phil?
I'm not. I said Dr. Phil. Like I
He
said
said
it right. the
Dr.
second
Phil.
time.
He said
Anyways.
Dr. Phil. Matt, did he say Dr. Phil?
He
The
says
first
feel-
time.
He says feel like a cat would.
Dr. Phil.
Like a cat would.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tom, I'm done, dude. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go leave.
that's a reference only you and you would know. So anyway, so he went on Dr. Phil.
There you go.
Thanks,
Phil,
man.
Dr. Phil. So he went on there. He's been on there before. What was it? Richard Nimoy. Whenever he passed away, like they were protesting. They were the ones that were known for carrying the signs that said God
He
hates.
told me.
Who's Richard Nimoy?
Is it Richard? Did I say it wrong? Leonard.
You mean Leonard Nimoy? Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I've never even seen Star Trek. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm
That's what
sorry
the-
for interrupting you guys. Matt, are you
it-
sorry too?
No, that's what he told me. He told me that the reason they protest these funerals of famous people is to get more attention on them, get more eyes on them. He's like, and this is why you're contacting me is because we do this. This is it's like you're using me, who has a big microphone, to get an even bigger microphone to say that you talk to me. And I was like,
No. I'm glad I remember Matt's story. He told me better than he remembers the story that actually.
okay,
happened to him.
good,
Because it's a better line. He said, "You're just a man with a little microphone looking for a man with a big microphone."
okay, that's what he said. Yeah,
And he
it
pulled
was
his
something
dick
on the
out.
microphone. No, it was on the phone. He was driving.
A big microphone.
He pulled his dick out on the phone.
on the phone.
But yeah, so that was cool. But but that goes to show that if we were just, I mean, you send Wayne Gretzky, baby, you miss 1,000 shots if you don't take one, right?
Yep,
Devin?
that's
what he said.
That's exactly the
exact
quote. You miss 1,000 shots if you don't take one.
So-
I really love that guy. I'm gonna please put that quotation marks.
Okay. So
Colonel, use quotation marks
I
correctly.
like how I did something, so Devin had to avert his eyes over to us having this conversation so he could see what I did.
I'm looking where we park.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Look
listen,
at
I
where
can
he's
do both.
going.
We're not doing anything important right now.
It's confusing.
Well, no, that's when you're supposed to say, yeah, we really aren't. This is the last one. So, but yeah, I think we should have worked harder. I think Devin or Matt, I think you had
think
tweeted
Matt
it.
Damn it, should have worked harder.
I think Matt, I think you had tweeted Brendan Sanderson, and then I think the other thing that I personally could say, because I mean, Devin was giving me more compliments he's ever given me in my life earlier on the look of the show and stuff like that, and I don't think anybody here would sit here and say that I haven't put work into the show, but
Look at your background. That is work right there. You
yeah,
planted
yeah.
a tree.
yeah, I planted a whole tree. But I think the worst, the thing, even with all that being done, I still haven't done maybe a quarter of what I had planned and would say that I would do.
You've done enough to at least for us to have
to
a
like
bit,
to
a more.
I've done enough to set a low bar, but I mean, I still can't say I've done more than you've done because you've still, I mean, not for this show specifically, but you're working on Grim History. You're doing, similar stuff with that. You're doing, you're writing a book. You're in the process of re-editing it. You would go and get the guests and stuff like that. Still to this day, if I needed a guest, Matt, you would probably be the guy to go find them. So, like, we all had our different roles, and what it pains me the most about us in our roles is like I want to give Devin more roles, but
Now I'm hungry.
no offense to Devin, I can't trust that he'll fulfill on those. Not because I think you're a piece of shit asshole,
But
It's
because you just still didn't do the 5 compliment video.
not because that's the reason the show's over. But
I'm sorry.
there's a reason I quit asking because I got tired of it.
Who's asking?
The thing with Devin, what sucks is like I want to be like, Devin, I need you to do this. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. But then Devin comes on the show, this episode excluded, and I listen back to it, and he really carries it. Like I think the shows where me and Matt make up a story together, that's what. Shut up, Devin, you piece of shit. I think
Same thing.
I think any story making episodes, like if we continue this, me and Matt, that's all it should be. And then anything where it's like a guest or something, Devin needs to be in there. And I think I always thought Devin would come into the story creating thing that we would do, and his role would be to basically say that idea sucks, that idea is good, and kind of guide where we're going. And I feel like it just ends up being too many cooks in the kitchen kind of thing.
Yeah.
And whenever we're doing that, so I think 2 works really well, and I think Matt and I usually do just a better job than I think I would have ever imagined whenever we come up with those stories.
Which reminds me, are you still gonna get that episode out that we
I
did
would,
Sunday?
I would like to. I can't promise when, but at some point I would like to get that. Hell, I'd still like to get out fucking Neil's episode. I have that thing like halfway done.
We did a string with him afterwards. I don't think he needs that.
No, we didn't do.
whole-
We didn't do a stream. Yeah, we did. But I mean, I would like to. Yeah, I said I was going to do it. That's the only reason. It's just
Okay.
like, I mean, that goes to say that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I'll say I'm going to do things, then I don't do them. And what I've learned throughout this process is what I like doing. I like making I made the promos. I did this. I like making like visual stuff. I like the artistic side of it. Whenever it comes to. But nobody likes editing videos. Editing videos is not fun.
I like editing videos when I'm liking what I'm doing, but if I'm like editing a boring part of the video and I'm just like, I need to spice this up. I don't know how to spice this up. Here's a
Yeah.
still image.
If you're taking an hour-long video and trying to cut it down almost any length, that's when it gets boring. Cutting stuff and just that going through and trying to clean it up. Oh, dude, that's fucking pain. That sucks, man. But whenever like you have those moments where like, Devin, did you ever watch the last episode, the 30-minute video, the Take Your Shot we put out?
Mhm.
You watched it? Did you see your part?
Where you like flashback and everything and made my
No,
face
no.
all blurry. at
No,
the
no.
end?
When you read your story.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Okay. Well, that's at the end. Anyways, so like that part's fun. Like that's like okay. Let me try to make these fun transitions and do so. And those moments are fun, but like fucking everything in between really sucks. So, but I mean, I
imagine.
I think everybody feels that way. It
And
definitely
it's
becomes
not that
work.
the
then.
content sucks, but it's just that it's boring.
And
It's-
so imagine like you go and deliver packages all goddamn day. You get home, you have a couple hours to relax, and like you're like, let me stay up till 4 a.m. and work on this fucking video because I said I was gonna get it out on Thursday. So I didn't fucking wait to work on it until 3 days until Thursday. So now I got to stay up all night and just. I'm glad that I did that, but
Well, it
that's not-
shows that you can. So when you start your solo, project-
exactly. That was the whole point, is for me to prove to myself. Not I knew I could. I knew it physically could be done. It was will I, and at least I did it that one time. You just gotta, from what I can tell, is you have to turn it into work, and that's why like I'm saying like if we do something else, I need you guys to want to do it enough. Like that's why I kind of want it to be y'all's idea because you're gonna care more about it. That way you're gonna be more committed and you're gonna be more willing to make it in your mind a job, because in my mind I've made this a job and I would have got fired from this job a long time ago is I guess the best way to put it as far as how much work I have done for it.
I think that might have been your problem. You're looking at it like a job. It's
No.
just for us hanging out.
If it was just for us hanging out, the show would have looked exactly how it did the first time we ever did a stream together, where I got some overlays from some random fucking place and plopped them on here. And if it was just for us to hang out, it would have been over as soon as Devin left. Like this would not have maintained if I didn't look at it as a second job. If I didn't look at it as not just a hobby, but a thing I want to become something. I wouldn't do it.
Well,
Same thing with your book. Would you have finished your book if you didn't look at it as I want to do this as a job?
if I didn't, I didn't look at it as a job when I first during my first draft because I enjoyed writing. I enjoyed telling the story. Now editing it is a fucking job. It is a fucking job.
Yeah.
Trying to get everything to work right.
Yeah.
So that's the only hard part.
Plus, you didn't
about
have a job when you was writing it, so I mean,
it. I have like 5 stories that are written when I didn't have a job, and I was like, "Oh, I'm finished with this one. Let's move on to the next one." And then I looked up on the internet. It's like, when can I start querying? And I'm like, I gotta edit this.
so with all this out of the way, Matt, tell us the time you quit your grocery store job.
I didn't want to walk in the rain. I didn't have a car at the time. So I was working at a grocery store, and while we had just moved, and my wife was working, and I was staying home. I wanted something to do to help out with the bills, so I
Hold on. I'm sorry, man, Matt. You tell me too many things, so I cannot sit here and let you walk around lying to people. From my understanding, what you told me is your wife gave you 2 options. I did 4. She gave you 2 options. She said, you need to get a job or you need to go to school. And you said, I'll get a job at the grocery store down the road.
was trying to make my job.
And then it was raining one day, and he said, I'm not going to go to that grocery store down the road right now. And they said, well, if you don't come in, you're fired. He said, all right, and he didn't go in. So he quit fired, which I understand, and then he got into school.
Yeah, and then I went to school. But it was raining, man. I didn't have a car.
Yeah, dude, I get it, man.
What was I gonna
was
do?
raining.
Walk in the rain?
Dude, I think the same thing every time I'm delivering packages to people's doors and it's like a hurricane outside. I'm like, it's raining. I'm not gonna walk out there.
It sucks working in the rain. What
really
store
does.
was it?
Kroger.
It was a Kroger.
I'm trying to remember. Was that at your old house?
No, it's where he lives now.
No,
Oh.
it
But
was
maybe his old house from where he.
yeah,
but
my
the
old
same
house
town,
in the
town.
same town I live in. Yeah, you went
Oh
there.
yeah, I've been
You-
there. I went there a couple times.
Yeah, you went there for
That
Halloween.
was pretty little. What did we say about Halloween?
Did something happen on Halloween? What
Yeah,
happened
he-
on Halloween?
He came and you didn't, and I took a picture and sent it to you, and then you're like, "How dare you!"
I don't remember that. Whenever he says Halloween, I'm thinking of the year before where I did go. I guess. Why didn't I go?
Because Devin was coming.
Oh yeah, was that why?
No, that wouldn't have been the reason I didn't
Oh, wait.
come.
You couldn't come, so I invited Devin, and then Devin came, and then we took a picture together.
It's
and
so
sent it to-
crazy to think we could ever be that mad at each other. Like, I know Devin
I was
has
fine with it.
Devin has in the past been
You
so
were the
mad.
one
That
that was like, I don't want Devin there.
Devin's been so mad. Really? Guys, see, I'm not saying that's not true, but it doesn't sound like me. But I know you have in the past.
Our,
like,
our infamous picture, like you were mad that I was there. I think, right, Matt?
Yeah.
oh,
yeah,
that one?
yeah.
You
Really?
were mad. You were like mad I was there. Yeah.
He was like,
I mean,
why
you've got
would you?
over it
He's
once
like,
we
why would
once
you
we
send
were
me
at
this
each other.
picture of you and Devin together when me and Devin don't like each other?
Really?
I was like, it was
Yeah.
Devin's idea.
Hey man, you
Sounds
grow,
like-
you grow a lot in a little bit of time. But anyways, I was gonna say I know that Devin in the past, like Levi had set up a situation where he invited us both to his house one night, and me and you weren't talking. Am I misremembering
yeah.
that?
It's about in
I
high
feel like that-
school?
Yeah, I felt like he did
Yes.
that, and like I felt like you were very mad. You're like, I'm not fucking. He fucking got me to come over here, and so like you were that guy
Yeah.
in that situation.
I was like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, I'll leave, or Tommy can leave. And of course, I was in the band, so they're not gonna kick me out. So you had to leave.
Oh, did I have to leave? See, I don't
think
even
so,
remember at
pretty
all.
sure. I think
Yeah,
you went home. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I was thinking it was a party in my head because it's so long ago. Memories get mixed up, anyways. But yeah,
We were just arguing all the time, and
Yeah.
and a lot of times back then, you took it to a place of like, I'll fucking punch you or whatever, and then I was
Right,
like,
yeah,
no,
you
no,
were.
no. I take it to a place of
dude, you
no
spit pepper in my face.
Did I
you
punch
did
a
throw
pepper in
pepper.
your face? Did I punch a pepper in your face?
But to be
All right,
fair, though, you were chomping down his pizza without paying for it.
let the men know it wasn't Matt. Matt wasn't the problem. I directed my anger at the wrong person. I want to finish this real quick.
I think that was it me that
no.
pointed that out though?
I've never once got
Yes,
to the
it
point
was
where-
you that instigated that motherfucker.
There was. We'll talk about that in a second. So anyway, I just want to finish this. I don't want people thinking I got to a point where I'm like, I'm gonna hit you, Devin.
All the time.
No, it always got to the point where I said, I would hit you if I didn't love you so much. I think that happened one time.
The guy who says, I would hit you if I didn't love you is like, I can't imagine I would ever be in a situation where I would be mad if you were in a place I was at.
No, it's crazy like to think about. I mean, we'll do it again.
Hey, I
and
don't think
I'm
so.
sure.
You're mid-30s.
It probably will. Fucking, we were like 2 years before 30 last time it happened, or whatever. It was fucking. We was like 29 last time this happened. If not,
No.
No,
Yeah, it wasn't-
because I was 20. I was
no,
25 when I got
well,
married.
I mean, the last time that we quit,
talking
we
like
got angry
6
and quit
years
being
ago.
friends. The last time we got angry and quit being friends was
yeah, that was 5 years ago. I was
no,
20,
it was the rough craft. It's within 3 years. It was the first year of the rough craft.
It wasn't that long ago. It was,
Yeah,
yeah, it was like a year.
I thought
and a
that
half
fight
ago.
happened after I got married.
the rough
Well,
craft
you're
fight.
thinking of the Halloween one. We have multiple fights, people.
Yeah.
I'm getting the fights mixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who cares, man?
So yeah, and I feel bad for Matt during those situations because I don't know about
Well-
you, but I know I'm messaging his ass during it all.
Matt just, I think every now and again it was just like,
Oh yeah, with the Halloween one, that was whenever like the girl thing happened, right? Was that what happened?
I don't
what
think
girl thing?
The girl thing.
the one with the
girl
tattoos
thing.
up her leg.
Yeah, I mean,
What are we talking about?
the girl. You know the girl.
What the fuck? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, we'll talk about the girl later.
Talk about, you gonna see me a little massage?
The one that was always
Starts with M.
she climbs. She likes spiders. What she likes?
Tom berated her because I let her borrow a book. It's like, that's my friend's book. You can't give it back.
Hold on, what?
That's how you
Was
get
this girl
I,
was
braid,
at the
I braided her. No, she wasn't. I braided her.
Okay.
Yeah, because
No, it couldn't have been because I was married at the time. So yeah, or no. I was with Brittany at the time, so that wasn't the issue. I don't know. There's so many fights.
Yeah, what? Oh, yeah. I think I just got in an argument about some stupid shit.
Probably.
then-
What tends to happen, and it happened kind of last night with Josh, is
Let's go ahead and bring
I
him
just,
up.
dude, I can't fucking. I don't like
Let's
it.
get
man.
Josh in here. Let's
You
get
guys,
Josh in here,
you guys. I have the 4-screen set up. He could pop in, and I could swap over right now.
He'll never see it.
But yeah, of course, I doubt he watched the one that he was in. I just have this
It's got 51. so
compulsion
maybe-
to just reply. Josh nailed it on the head, man. He's like, I know you just can't help but like bite at it, like you just. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And like, I walk away from it, and all of a sudden, I don't care anymore. And that's why, like I was telling you guys that one day, I was like, whenever I'm sitting here arguing and sitting here, like Matt's like, Lord of the Rings sucks because of this, and I'm like, you're wrong, and I start going in on him. Like, I don't care. I have no opinion. It doesn't matter to me at all. I'm doing it to be funny and to be, looks like you're being devil's advocate again.
You are a devil's advocate guy.
But yeah, I do have this compulsion. It's not to argue. It's just whenever I hear somebody say something I disagree with, no matter how much I smallly disagree with. That's a word. I just can't. I don't know. That's why I got off Facebook. That's why I used to out argue with people on Facebook, and I ended that like 10 years ago.
You did get in a lot of fucking arguments on Facebook.
Dude, yeah, that shit's embarrassing. Like everything, all these arguments. That argument with Josh last night. Once I was away from it, I look back. I was very embarrassed. I'm like, wow, I'm a grown man. Why am I sitting here doing this? Brittany, before the fucking thing started, I was like, Josh is dumb. And she's like, don't do it. I was like, you fucking tell me what to do. And then me and her got into an argument because I could not get off my phone. I just couldn't do it.
Claire will be like, why are you arguing with them? I'm like, I have to.
Can't. Yeah. And I think that's the problem. Is I think whatever it is there, you and I have it. Maybe I have it a little bit stronger. And it's like I don't want to argue, but it just kind of happens. But that's mostly what happens.
Stronger than Devin.
Something. No. I'm saying Devin's stronger than I am. I think what it is just like probably something small, something that there's been rarely, probably ever any real things me and you got in fights about. And it just blows up because I think Devin and I, like, our personalities.
Yeah.
We I don't want to say it's that we don't take shit from one another. It's just we both. I don't know. We have very similar personalities. Very strongly feel the way we feel, and fuck that other guy for feeling differently.
God damn him for making me feel like we're not best friends. Yeah.
So
that's it, I guess.
That's it.
This is
It's these two motherfuckers. That's why we're quitting. That's
So
why we're
he quit the grocery store job I now want to go. Is there a job or you quit suddenly?
The only well, I don't think there's. I guess probably the most sudden one I quit was the one that Josh had got me working at that fucking
I got you too.
tiring job. Yeah, that one I guess I quit suddenly. I've quit a lot of jobs.
You texted me in the morning and was like, I'm quitting. I'm not coming in, man. And
So-
you're like, I know you can be mad at me if you want or whatever. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't care if you want to quit, dude.
It's so funny because like especially looking
No,
back.
no,
at
no,
myself,
no. That's not what you said when he texted you that. Because you texted.
I was
Tell me.
probably like,
You
what
were
a
either in a
fucking-
group chat. We were either in a group chat or you messaged me and you said, I stuck my neck out for this motherfucker and he just fucking quits.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I was probably like, all right, man.
Yeah. That's
But
probably what he said
I'm
to
not
me.
gonna
But then,
berate you in the text message and be like, you're gonna give up. Like, yeah, give up. But I'm like, I
Yeah.
did like get you the job. I'm sure Josh
Yeah.
felt the same way, man.
oh, I'm sure he did. And I
Yeah.
want you guys to know, it's one of the. It's like, I look back at those things and definitely was a piece of shit, and I'm not proud of any of those things. And
you got
and,
better.
and even in those, well, it's not even that I got better. Actually, I have,
Still
I
a piece
guess.
of shit.
Yeah. No, I'm still 100% that same guy. I just have responsibilities now, I guess. I don't mind myself, or it's not, I do mind, but I will let myself live in filth and squalor. I can't let people that depend on me live in filth and squalor. The example I always give, which is stupid, people don't get it, but it's like if I'm making myself a chicken sandwich, I'll just heat it up in the microwave. But if I'm making it for somebody I care about, I'm going to cook it in the oven. I'll do for them things I won't do for myself because I don't care about me. It's not that I don't care, but I do. I'm not going to kill myself. But like I'll let it doesn't matter as much for me. I won't clean up my room, but I'll clean up the living room, that kind of stuff, if that makes sense. And so getting married, having a kid, those are things I needed to have happen. Needed to have it happen a lot sooner. I need people to depend on me, or else I'm just gonna play World of Warcraft all day, which I so badly want to do. So, but yeah, even in all those situations, and it's just the shittiest part of it isn't that I quit those jobs. It's that I quit those jobs, and then I'm like apologizing to you guys about it. Not that it's shitty to apologize, just that I'm like trying to make you guys not feel like, hey, I'm a piece of shit. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a piece of shit. Don't make me feel. Don't feel that I'm a piece of shit. I'm a good guy, because I am a good guy. I always felt very bad about it, but I'm just lazy. Like, it's just couldn't help it. Like, I didn't want to be a jerk. I didn't want to give up on a job that you got me or Josh got me, but I did.
But I did.
And I felt there's no way to explain it, but like,
Well, the Roughcraft was the job that you gave yourself, and now you're quitting it.
And I said earlier, and I commend myself for this. This job is the longest job I've ever had in my life. I've done this longer than any other job I've had in my life, aside from a contract I signed with the United States government. Aside from that, this job I held on to longer.
Yeah, we did this for a while. I'm surprised we stuck with it how long we did.
That's part of the reason why. That's another reason why I stuck to it as long as I did, is just because I don't stick to things. And I had to prove, at least to you guys, if I want you guys to do some shit with me, like, I can't just quit. That being said, I did plenty of times. It just, Matt stopped it, usually.
Yeah.
Well,
I still remember before I got the job I have now, so this was 2 years ago. I remember quitting it one night, and you talked me out of it the first time I tried to quit. This was like, had to be like 5-6 months into it. So, but I've always just wanted to go on and do something different. I've wanted to take what we've learned, try to progress it, and move it to something better. The most funny story about me quitting is the story that I had to share with you guys that night when we did the Rock Quarry story. Didn't get to publishing that, and it never will. So, real quick with that is I went through a series of events that got me into a very terrible spot, all self-induced. And I got to the point where I didn't care about my job anymore. I didn't want to go anymore. I didn't have a car either. Matt here was driving me back and forth to work. He's a very dependable guy, and he will be there for you. But he's the kind of guy that will run out of gas on his way to pick you up from work. He will come pick you up from work, but he will run out of gas on the way there. And so after basically laying out of work as often as I could, they finally called me in for a meeting, and I was excited because I wanted to quit the job because I had taxes coming, had a retirement that I'd saved up while working there that I was going to get. So I was going to get like $6,000, which at the age, we've talked about that, like at the age of like 22, 21, like that's a lot. And so I was excited. I was like, oh, I think this is finally happening. They're finally going to fire me. And I go there, and in the meeting, I don't remember everything from the meeting. Just the most important part is the guy that was the head guy over the whole hospital. He asked me right there at the end of it, he goes, how long have you worked here? And I go, oh, well, it'll be 2 years in February. And he goes, let's leave it as it would have been 2 years in February. And that was how he fired me, which, boy, if I ever fire somebody, that's going to be the thing I'm going to say. That was a good line.
Way to get you, man. That was really, he's awesome.
Yeah. And like, and it was so good that in the moment I remember sitting there, like, cause I wanted to get fired. I'm like, ooh, like what I said is I was just like, all right. Like, cause there's nothing I could say back to him. I'm not trying to be a dick or anything. I was already a dick. That's why they're firing me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so just want to hit the chat real quick and say Neil Romerl had said, I was happy to come and join you all, but I like the show from day one and would enjoy the show even if I didn't make an appearance. And Neil, I believe you are being 100% sincere because I don't think you would ever lie. And I appreciate that. I greatly appreciate that. It's nice. And I know, and that's something Matt and I talked about as well, is like the people there's definitely people that like the show. Neil said from the start he really enjoyed the show, which almost baffles me a bit. But everybody that's been on the show has said they had a really good time. They had a lot of fun. And I think what we do, the environment we've created as far as like this very casual form of talking about writing and having fun with it and just basically just hanging out. And I think we are all in various ways really fun guys to hang out with and just bullshit around. So the games like Take Your Shot and stuff like that just builds a very fun environment. It's like it's not I don't want to say an event for people, but like, yeah, it's definitely fun. And for guests to come on, yeah, I think they're gonna have a lot of fun, regardless if we spend an hour talking about their work or we spend an hour playing Take Your Shot or creating a new story. Just 'cause we're fun guys.
I like to think so. So before we end this and close the final chapter in the Rough Craft, let's talk about our favorite stories that we came up with while doing the Rough Craft.
Do you want to go last, Matt?
Yes.
Should you go last?
I should.
Okay. Devin, do you have a favorite story? You weren't as a part of as many as Matt and I don't think any that you were a part of were anywhere as close to being as good as the ones Matt and I were did together, except for one, and Matt's already called that one.
No, I haven't. That's not the one I'm going to talk about. Okay. So you can talk about that one if you want.
Favorite story?
So Devin, would you like to go last?
I enjoyed Dickie Roberts and being the host and of the when Matt was cheating with the Carolina Reaper challenge. You're looking at me very confused. Remember, I wore a suit.
I'm trying to figure out.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a story. It could be an episode.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know. Okay, yeah. Well, that's why I was confused because Matt said, "What's your favorite story?" And I'm like, "What story?"
Story. I mean, the stuff we did before we recorded anything. There's one in particular that we won't mention that was the best one we did, and I enjoyed that a lot. I think that was a really good one. And we came up with several interesting.
It's like the Pick a Destiny movie where there's the tribute to the greatest song in the world. We'll just keep mentioning it.
I just want to say that real quick. Like, it's so funny to me that you guys both consider that to be one of our best stories. And for me, the reason it's such a great story is something very specific that you both seem to really hate. So I don't know why y'all liked it so much.
Let them in. Dude.
That one's really good. So we'll explain what the it was the Hot Shot episode, I believe. Where we played was it the one where we played Take Your Shot, but we had peppers. You wore a suit. I had a Max setup going on.
I thought Boney Tony was really good. I thought Mountain Time was really fucking good.
Mountain Time was fun.
Mountain Time was great. The dragon and it's a lawyer thing. It was hilarious, man.
Mountain Time and Boney Tony, those are examples of what I was saying with whenever it's us three, I don't think they're as good as when it's just Matt and I, because those were fun, those were funny, but the story that was created from there, as far as an actual story you would try to develop and want to write and make into something, those don't hold a candle to almost anything that Matt and I has done just alone.
Mm-hmm. I think Time Mountain could actually work out as a fantasy
the idea of it needs a lot of work, but I think the idea of it was already created before we got into it.
I do try to just be funny all the time. And,
well, I think we all do. Whenever, especially when it's all three of us. That's why we don't. That's why I'm saying the stories I think start lacking, and because again, like, you do a great job, and I think you very, very much are the star whenever it's all three of us in those situations. Especially when I watch it back. And I don't want to give you those compliments, so I only do it because it's true.
Thank you. Fucking hate each other, I'm telling you.
Whenever we
they're gonna ride together 2 hours to a different town,
and we're gonna have a great time. I can't wait to
tell you all that story.
We're gonna have a great time, but throughout the day, there's gonna be something that's gonna happen, and the ride back's gonna be not such a great time.
I don't know what could happen unless you just get too drunk and make a fool out of yourself.
Start screaming. Clemson.
Neil might be driving back if we are drinking all day long.
I'm not planning on driving or planning on drinking during the game. I'll tailgate, drink during then.
So you're going to use the game as time to sober up.
I thought that's the plan. That's what my dad said. So I assumed, I was like, okay, that's how it works. That makes sense.
That's the plan. Dude, I got to work the day before that. So I'll probably be sleepy.
Yeah, I do as well. But
then I'm off the whole rest of the week. All right, this has been the Rough Craft, guys.
Did you clap your hands? Because I didn't hear it. That's strange. It didn't come through.
Bottles and cans, just clap your hands. If I talk into it, does it pick up then?
Yeah.
There we go.
You got to show the mic right up your ass to hear it.
Talk into my motherfucker.
That's funny. Like, your mic controlled that really well. I don't think it wasn't as loud as you would assume it would have been when you did that.
Stupid expensive microphone.
My favorite story. If I could go back to any story that we've created and then make that into like a series, a movie, a book, or whatever. Well, this one would probably work best as like a like either a comic or a like some sort of TV series, animated series. I think it's got to be Pirate's Life for Mage. I really liked the uniqueness of that. I like the
Never heard.
I like simple stuff. Is the first stuff that's on the channel. I like
Never
the
heard of
simple things that we did to bring kind of like what Neil did with Eyes in the Dark, Side Alpha.
Never
You can
heard
go
of it.
find this on. I took out everything from the description, but you can go to neilromrill.com. You can go to Amazon, just search Eyes in the Dark, Side Alpha, Neil Romrill, and you will find this. You can buy it in all versions, hard copy like this one, or softback, and you can also get it in ebook as well. Also, you can go there and check out his merch on neilromrill.com, and there's also a link to his penultimate site where you can find all his merchandise. You can get things to stock. Anyways, this is what that's
you did
about.
that really well, man.
I did. I was going to go a little bit further, and I'm like, I think I've already. The bit should have ended before that. But yeah, I think that was good. I think like what Neil did here is he took an idea that everybody already knows, and he was able to form it into something that's different. Like he take a familiar idea, make something new with it, and I think that's what we were able to do with Pirate's Life from Age, which making things familiar yet fresh. I think is a good thing to sell. Like people, that's interesting. People, I love that sort of things. Like if you took werewolves and then you made them actual dogs, like what? That's different but new, or new but different. Anyways, so that's why I like Pirate's Life from Age, and I think that could have been a good thing. Also, honorable mention is Pantheon's Verdict. Well, I'm not going to go any further. I don't want to ruin anything you might say, Matt. Go ahead.
Because Pantheon's Verdict was literally my pick.
Yeah.
Pantheon's Verdict was my favorite, man.
Pantheon's Verdict is the only story that we have that actually has a short story written. It's like it's the most I've written, probably anything. It's like 15
Pantheon's
pages.
Verdict. It was post-apocalyptic. We had gods coming down. We had an AI system.
We had kaijus.
We had and the AI system that was there to fight the gods, and it was just we had different POV. It was the first time we did different POVs, and we'd never done that again. We had a woman character who was like at a bar, who worked as a bartender, and then all of a sudden the ground split open, and then we had another character whose brother died or something like that.
I don't remember exactly, but yeah.
But yeah, it was just like
Then there was somebody that was a trucker, but then was like the mom of another character or something. It all kind of just flipped around and tied into one another.
I fucking love that story, and I'm gonna steal that. That's gonna be my story.
You go ahead. It's got. I mean, I don't care. I got 15 pages of it, and I still would like to release that somehow. I was gonna release it onto Storyfire at one point in time, but I would like to release it just because what the fuck else am I gonna do with it? It's gonna sit in Google Drive forever. Another fun one, which I'm looking back and it just seems like all the fun ones were just like some of the first ones that we did.
Avalon Reaper was good. I liked
Avalon Reaper was really good. That was a really good one as well. And that one always feels more new to me than it actually was.
Dude, Doa Dreams is still on here.
Yeah,
like
nobody ever took it down, but yeah, Doa Dreams sucked. What was the other one? Pabst Blue Moon. That was a fun, terrible story. That was kind of like, I would have loved to have had Devin there when we did that. We did Hunger Games in space, kind of. It was very silly. A lot of aliens.
Sounds great.
And then we had a bunch of we had Writer's Craft, a bunch of Writer's Craft and Take a Shot. This is when we started evolving. I think
if we would have just stayed doing what we were doing and have guests come in and do what we were doing and then continue upping the production value, I think the show would have been much more successful. And it's not because I think that idea was better than any other ideas. It's just because we would have stuck to one idea. And out of all the ideas we've had for this show, the only idea I really like and want to do is the original idea that I created the show around, which is just brainstorming stories for an hour or two while drinking a beer. That's part of it. Got to get you a good buzz. Loosens
Get a pretty
up the
good buzz
thinking
too.
So, anybody have anything they want to say before we go?
Fuck you.
Seems like
No.
things are slowing down a bit.
No, man, it's a shame, but we'll figure something out and do something
don't
all
thi-
else together
one of
again.
It's one of those things that I told Matt this. Like, I'm not sad at all. I don't feel any. I'm not like this, I feel good about this. I'm very happy about this. I'm happy that we're finally quitting it. And it's not because like I hate this. It's because it's something I've wanted to do for a while. I think it's the right move. And the fact that I'm at this moment here finally doing it and I feel good about it, that lets me know that I am, at least for me, making the right decision. I've felt for a long time that the main reason we've continued doing this is simply because it's the one that's built. If we would have if I would have built any other ideas, then you guys would have came and been able to do that. But I just didn't want to, with the way the I guess the workload is set up, I don't want to go through and build a new idea and then have to kind of like do it all myself. If I'm going to do that, I'd rather do it with just myself. That way I don't have to depend on anybody. I don't have to worry about anything. It's just either I do it or I don't. But it is also another thing that I also need is having you guys here keeps me accountable. And like I said, I wouldn't have stayed here as long as I had if it wasn't for both of you in various different ways. So we'll see how the next thing goes. I got tons of ideas I want to try. We're going to brainstorm some ideas and see if we can find something new we want to do. And hopefully you'll see us again in one fashion or another. But
you might see us back here after I publish my book.
Mm-hmm.
We'll finally get that writer's craft. But
that writer's craft with Matt. And then as well, like this channel, like we've said, is not going down. Matt may publish or create some content that he's gonna post on here. Devin may, I may, I have a video for the last story that Matt and I had created. We don't go to do you remember the name of that planet that we called it? It was some fucking out of my dick name. Like I just pulled a name for the planet out, and I said,
that was Sunday.
And then you had said we don't go to, and then the name of the planet. That's the name of that's anyways.
Carcosa.
So it's a fun it was a fun story. So hopefully that'll come up at some point. So there's still a few things coming out, maybe more. We'll see. Channel's not dead, but don't expect anything ever again after I hit in stream here tonight. So good.
Yep.
Couldn't hear you both talking. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and mute you guys. I'm going to say one final thing, and then I'm going to close it out.
All right,
what I'm going to say is things I've already said. No, you ain't going to mute yourself. I'll mute you myself.
Well, can I say something?
Nope, you're muted. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you to Neil, Sean, Pat, and Logan for all coming on, being guests of the Rough Craft. And I'm glad I met you guys, and I hope to talk to y'all in the future. I know we'll talk to you, this two of you.
Devin, is there anything you'd like to say before we close it out?
No.
All right. Let me find the right buttons here, guys. All right. So they can hear me, but you can't hear them. I just want to say thank you. Anybody that has came and anybody that's came and watched this show for more than a minute. I do appreciate it. I really do. This has been a labor of love. Jesus. It's been a labor of love. I've enjoyed doing this. There's been a lot of problems. Mostly it's just I want to take what I've learned from this and go on to something else. And I cannot emphasize enough how much I appreciate everybody that's come on the show, everybody that's watched the show, everybody that's been any bit of a part of this, because this is something initially I've came up with and worked with those guys. So just anything coming from other people, any enjoyment that people might have got, I greatly appreciate, and I'm glad that it happened. And so thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being friends, guests, viewers, whatever, of the Rough Craft. Thank you, and we'll talk to you again at a later date and time. Adios. Hold on. Can't do that. Got to unmute you, Matt. This is the best way to end the show. Hold on. I never muted you. Oh, no, never mind. There, now you're unmuted. I was like, I can hear you. All right. Thank you guys for being here, checking out the Rough Craft. We'll talk to you again at a later date and time.